everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the third season of the NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Big Series. This evening, we're excited to bring you top foot action for the weekly straight the field race for the virtual Myrtle Beach Speedway at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Britz. Alongside me in the booth tonight is Braden Lester, with DJ Lyon working the controls as our producer, using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beer. Braden, tonight we head to Myrtle Beach Speedway, a circuit that, while it closed down a few years ago in the real world and today is the home of houses, it's rarely seen on the truck schedule when it comes to the official series. With that in mind, what do we expect for this short track tonight?
I got my 3 C's for it, Justin. I got cautions, competition, and crashes. With this short track race, as you see here, not a whole lot of banking, only 13 degrees. You can't really push the trucks like you want to, but the track is awfully wide. A couple lane speed drivers to choose from, coming at just over a half mile. Plenty of dive bombs, I'm sure we will see tonight, and lead turn to crashes.
Here's a look at that schedule, and keep in mind, when it comes to the schedule, the next 3 races are pretty intriguing, with those not following the real world schedule. It's after the February 5th race at Chicagoland, not Chicago Road Course, where we start following on with the real schedule. Daytona, Atlanta, Las Vegas. 2 short tracks back to back though, both of them less than about half a mile or so. Jack Mace, the points leader, coming in amongst those who has a lot of consistency coming in terms of top 5s. But in terms of the race itself, Brennan, tonight could be pressure-filled for a lot of those contenders if they want to keep it clean and avoid a drop week.
Yeah, you can't really control yourself on this short track. I mean, we have 18 trucks here tonight, and you get dive bombed with no fast repair. I mean, that is your race over, especially with how tight and how fast you can go in the corner. One bad bump, and you overcorrect into the wall, and your strength of field race is over, and these points are not going to help you out one bit.
The difference for 1st to 10th, 216 points entering tonight's action. Keep in mind, we'll keep an eye on things here at this 0.6 mile facility as this action progresses this evening. Now keep in mind, every single driver except for one has elected to put a qualifying time. That's how critical track position is here. Half a second was the difference in qualifying. The drivers have 20 minutes before they hit the grid itself, but a lot of short track aces as to be expected racing tonight. Of note, Aaron Plemons amongst the fastest. Josh Kozik also amongst those in the field tonight.
Also, I want to go back to Kern County in week 3, the last time we went to a short track here. We had 9 cautions, but the winner of that race, Jack Mace. Jack Mace still looking for a second win, even though he's your points leader. Has us 3 top 5s, and I think tonight he's definitely going to give everyone a run for their money.
With that being said, the drivers have now got themselves finished through qualifying, and it means it's time to get ready for tonight's starting grid as we get ready for a race starting off in the late evening here at Myrtle Beach. Take a look at the starting grid. Aaron Plemons set the pole time by 6 1/1000ths over Peyton Howell. Rocky Boyd III, he's already put in a challenge to his fellow buddy in Jack Mace. Andy Tripiano, Wesley Parker amongst the top 6. Hayden Swank, Thomas Horvath amongst the top 8 tonight, with Joseph Braun in 9th, and Josh Kozik rounds out your top 10 this evening. This evening going to Jordan Brinkley. Jason Morales starts off 12th. Dakota Lawn, an interesting note, joining Express Esports in the past week, it appears, from Zeems. So he's now, for the first time, with that group. Tonight, Jeffrey Maconi 14th, Dylan McCabe, Joseph Tucker, Austin Sturgeon, and Dylan Theriot amongst your final starters. 18 drivers making top split for an S.O.F. of more than 4,200. So keep in mind, it's the question of how tonight plays out and finding out who is him or who is them when it comes to victory tonight. The reason mentioning that regard, the challenge is on to see if Jack Mace can pick up an air victory in a short track. Your keys to get that said victory today.
I think survival is going to be the biggest name in the game. I mean, you can't really, I brought up a minute ago, you can't really control what the other tracks do around you. or I'm sorry, what the other drivers do around you while on track. I mean, just like super speedway racing, most of your destiny is out of their control. Obviously, you can play it safe and run in the back. I think that's what Dylan Thero did by not qualifying. But I think if you want a good points battle or a good points run, not qualifying wasn't a move. You kind of have to gamble a little bit. So, I mean, do you qualify up front in the middle of the pack and kind of, the danger zone and hope you don't get turned, as drivers are already stacking up on pit road a little bit. So, I mean, I think we're going to see a ton of action tonight, and maybe one bad dive bomb gone wrong, we can see the whole field almost taken out.
There's a look at your race now. Keep in mind, that's the official series for C Open's distance. It's half that at 55 laps tonight, but it's still a fixed racing setup here tonight. Fast repairs not available as to be expected. One green-white checkered for C fixed this evening. So we mentioned the expectations coming in from Ace. We have a fairly cool racetrack, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. You already have Rocky Boy III already saying he is him. As we mentioned the last time we've seen Rocky Boy III at a big race where he caught a shot. Whose shot are you calling to go to victory lane tonight in the front stretch?
I think Jack Mace is my guy. Jack Mace is him. I think he's going to get his second win of the year and extend that points lead, as no one else in the top 3 points, Ryan Zima or S. Colin Keister, are in this field tonight.
Glad to have you with us for tonight's coverage of the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series, the S.O.F race from Myrtle Beach. In control, it's Plemons. A very early launch. We're underway for Myrtle Beach. And Ascend already. Plemons with the squeeze. As the Ben Howell holds him off to start off the race. Already the pressure's on for the point. Side by side, battle for 4.
You gotta watch those bumps too in the bottom of 1 and 2. Those will hurt your car. The truck's in the new damage model. Hit your oil pan before you have a blown truck by just barely hitting those turtles there on the bottom of 1 and 2. Something we gotta watch out for. You wanna run that bomb, stick your nose as we see this battle for 4th. That's Jack Mace on the top, and that's Andy Tripiano on the bottom. So we have
Caution
a caution already.
And not a surprise to see it already. It's, however, in the back. Dakota Lawn running 14th. Spins it around. And we're under yellow for the first time already. Now, keep in mind, mention the new team affiliation. That didn't carry over for the paint scheme yet for the broadcast side this evening. But you see the partnership with Cody Porter. He is one of the team organizers at XPE. And already, lawn, significant damage. We'll have to likely get some repairs pretty soon.
And Jack Mace.
And believe this all the way from the start. Spin coming at the start of lap 3 or 4.
You see how everyone's really using like all the different lanes. I mean, they're 2 or 3 wide and they're going below. And I just talked about, we might see it, we might not, depends how cautious these drivers are. But I mean, you can run side by side without forcing each other too much room really. That's Jeff Maconi on the outside there, but it gets tight real quick.
And in turn, already a couple times nearly making contact. That's one of the most difficult parts of this racetrack expected tonight, is it's so easy for drivers to run into each other because they've even the difference of braking marks that drivers prefer.
Especially running different lines, we're going to see this lost on his own, no help needed. And overcorrected hard into the wall. I don't think it's going to hurt him too bad, but see the front end's definitely a little goofy y'all looking.
There was a teammate right behind, which may have been a part of a factor. Because here's the thing, you correct it to the left, you're stacking up the whole bottom of the racetrack. With the overcorrect, it makes it a single truck incident.
That could have been pretty ugly. Like I said, he was running in 14th, but I mean, he still had 3 or 4 guys behind him. That could have definitely been race ending. So kudos to everyone there for not plowing up into it. This came down and I think he got some damage fixed. He did. It came down pit road. Didn't take any tires, just damage it looks like. But Jack Mace, though, we were talking about that battle for 4th. Jack Mace does hold on and will restart on the outside, which I don't think any lane really has an advantage here. I think both lanes are pretty even.
Getting ready for the restart. Once again, it's Aaron Plemons in control on the inside line. When it comes to him, rear road racer from Stafford Speedway with some experience there. Cody in street stock competition so far. He's led every lap so far, coming up to start lap 8. Already Rocky Boy the third looking to time it up. Nobody able to launch it off. Boyd the third nearly drifted into the wall. Back underway. Clemens holds inside. Howell on the outside.
Jack Mesa going to steal that third spot from Rocky Boy the third on that start. Clemens, though, kind of side by side, not able to take the lead. And here comes Peyton Howell on the outside, side by side off of 4. Howell going to fade back a little bit, not get the run. Clemens, though, at the line barely.
Still side by side up at the point. Jack Mace already clearing for third of note. Wesley Parker amongst those trying to gain behind. Still no space to be able to work around the one truck in sim. Getting pushed up. Clemens does not want to give this up easily.
Now he's fighting, you're getting everything he has, getting real low, close to his tires, going to slide up. Almost had himself clear over Peyton Howell. Doesn't quite get the position off of 2. Going into 3, Howell really working the outside, getting a run off the corner, now going to slide in and try to do a slingshot move under him. I don't think he's going to make it work, but Clemens a little loosey-goosey in there. Now Howell on the bottom trying to take the spot.
Nearly turned him, in fact, with the crossover attempt. Back to the inside. And a big send. Big space given by Clemens. And it looks like he allows Howell at least to get the edge for a split second. Still no lap led per se, but the opportunity is absolutely there.
Yeah, 5,000ths of a second last time by. Clemens actually got in the wall a little bit going into 3. That's why he had such a big run on the high side and wasn't able to close that gap. Still making the outside work though. Not quite able to clear Howell yet, but I mean, these two are side by side every lap. 400ths that last time by. Jack Mesa still in 3rd.
And keep in mind, the more these two run side by side, the more this plays, if anything, to potentially Mace's hand. The more you run side by side like this, the more it burns up your tires for both the front runners here.
Yeah, Mace's really closed up that gap the last couple of times. They pulled out to 4 or 5 tenths, and now it's just under 3 for Jack Mace. I mean, he can basically smell what these guys had for dinner. They're still side by side.
Bravo, turn 2. One loops around in a stack up with Trupiano. It's Jordan Brinkley who gets looped around. And we're under caution once again, the second time. He and Trupiano were bouncing off each other. Josh Kozik also involved for a second yellow.
It's going to be interesting to see how iRacing decides who was the leader. I mean, they were side by side going into 3. We're going to get a replay of the wreck here.
And Trupiano opened the door on the bobble. Problem is, he didn't want the door to be left open.
I mean, he forced Brinkley over top of those barrels. That really upset Brinkley's truck, too. And I think it's kind of, you got 3 trucks fighting that hard for the same position, and this doesn't work out.
Now, keep in mind, for this racetrack, there's the chance if you hit the turtles, you blow your motor. For example, you run a street stock here. It's been talked about a lot, especially when the pros ran here. They learned quickly. You accidentally hit those barrels, or better yet, those turtles. Well, you may as well say, bye-bye, motor. Bye-bye, motor. It was fun having you.
Yeah, Aaron Clemens, though, is actually, I believe, going to keep the lead. He's got his motor, though, still safe and sound. I'm honestly surprised that didn't blow up Brinkley's motor there. With how low he went over the turtles, it definitely upset the truck, but everything A-okay for the most part. We are 17 laps down, so we're getting kind of close to the quarter or so mark, 15:30. That'd be about a quarter, though, over a quarter or so. So that's public education math right there, Justin.
Yes, indeed. But the big thing is, a few drivers just took sets of tires and or repairs. Dakota Lawn sped in the pit lane to get some repairs. Birrow, Brinkley, Sturgeon also came down. Of note, Sturgeon, only a 34-second stop. Dylan McCabe also just completed additional service. Here's the big thing about that part. There are 2 tire sets in the pits, first of all. Second, there's a chance, depending on how this plays out, in about 15 laps, some of those names I just read may be your top 5.
I mean, we've only ran so 10 laps under green, so I don't think tire fall is going to be a huge deal.
If there's a narrow caution in 15 laps in the leader's pit, they can become the top 5.
I think, definitely, yeah. But I don't think long run, I think it's going to help him out a little bit. We're going to find out here. Hopefully we do go green for these final 35 or so laps, but we'll have to find out who takes the lead.
37 to go on the board. Clemens on the launch. Howell tries to jump it. Back underway. And already some chatter on the radio over the start. Clemens not happy he couldn't clear.
Still side by side. They're going in the 3. Plymouth's not using that bomb. A little bit of contact between two. They're banging doors, and that's really going to hurt their speed. As now Wesley Parker making a move on third. To see it in the back there. That's the 22 on screen 4, and Sim getting loose. Actually having to way overcorrect. That's going to allow Jack Mace now. Almost right side in that 3rd spot. Almost collecting Joseph Braun. And that 12 truck behind them in 5th. As the leaders are still side by side. The battles are heating up everywhere.
Really slidey and really slippy up front. Howell for the first time gets a little lap. Kozik slides up now in the backdrop. Rocky Boy the 3rd had the Kozik's truck lean on the door. So a lot of the drivers started to lose gripping quickly, especially on the bottom.
Clemens though still trying to fight on the inside. Doesn't quite make it work. Peyton Howell to the lead. And for the first time in about 10 laps actually clears himself over Clemens. So Peyton Howell to the point for the first time tonight, but not without bumper love.
Yeah, I expect this to be physical if that 5 does get back there based on some of the temper showcased here already. Side by side for 3rd once again. You know who's up to the battle for 3rd on the outside? Yes, it's the Corgi truck yet again. Wesley Parker showing that Corgis can drive.
Do you think the Corgi's actually behind the wheel though?
I think Wesley Parker will say yes. I think in reality, no. I think in terms of the paint scheme, the energy from the Corgi fuels the speed.
I think that's what it is, honestly. As now he's really sliding and stealing that way into 3rd over Jack Mace. Has himself clear. Running the high side, one of the few guys in single car lane running the high side. As a lot of guys are starting to get loose up there. I mean, we've seen Plymouth running about half a truck or so below Peyton Howell, trying to find a little bit of grip down there. So I think the bottom is kind of making it work a little bit, but the high side that's definitely doesn't seem to be a favorite.
You know who's up to 7th though? Remember Jordan Brinkley got spun around for the last caution? He's just joined the fight, and he was amongst those, as we talked about, who took tires. Here's the thing, that's a 2 to 3 tenths of a second quicker race truck in that 9.
I think tires definitely coming into a factor here. I didn't think they would. And if this goes green, we have a little under 30 laps to go. I think that might have been the winning move. It's got to be able to keep the momentum as we got a nice aerial shot here. To see the field still super tied up. About 4 seconds separate 1st through 17th, and Austin Sturgeon with some trouble running 18th about 5 seconds back. But this field, I mean, talked about not really being able to control their own destiny. I think you just talked about Jordan Brinkley now in the 6. Jack could get past Jack Mace.
Yeah, it wasn't the destiny he wrote, but sometimes destiny finds you. Joseph Braun, by the way, getting pushed behind Wesley Parker in the battle for 3rd, and here comes Brinkley for 4th. Oh, that's tight. He never got pushed down to the turtles again, Brinkley did.
Tight as we're coming up to halfway here. Jordan Brinkley making that bottom work. I mean, a little bit loose on the bottom too, but as we got caution.
Trouble in the back of the field, and this time it's for 14th. Dylan Thirill getting a love tap from Dakota Lawn. Puts out the 3rd caution flag, and now this is where strategy very likely diverges.
So that didn't really help Dylan Farrell because he was one of the drivers that actually, or Dakota Long, because those were 2 of the drivers that pitted during that last caution on lap 14.
Pit stops underway, already past halfway. Likely the one set used out of the 2 for most of the field. Only 2 not electing to come down. Our teammates will touch on a second. I think Hayden Swank missed his pit stall. Swank has to come down, maybe again. But right now for Swank, he's the first off pit road by a mile for obvious reasons. Race off the lane for the tires. Howell edges Clemens. So Joseph Tucker just backed out of the strategy. So did the 7 Hayden Swank from the mid-stall. Only one committing to staying out here. And yes, it is the driver you think it is. It's Dakota Long.
who brought it out that caution. Also brought the lap 3 caution with that self-spin. Has a little bit of front end damage. I don't think it's going to hurt him too bad here, but definitely going to be a factor. He pitted about 15, 16 laps ago, and you saw the difference over the course of about 10 or so laps. Got the lap 14 caution. Brinkley was basically last and was inside the top 5 and actually making a move for 4th.
You know, it's an interesting point. 3 of the drivers at the back of the field, Braden. This is something that can happen at short tracks. Did not come down, or rather did come down to the pit lane during the first caution, or rather during first pace lap is the thing I'm trying to mention. A couple drivers just lost the lead lap because of it. Jeffrey Maconi and Austin Sturgeon both did not get in front of the pace car in the pit exit. They've also just delayed the caution because there were trucks stopped on the racetrack trying to sort themselves out because they have to start at the back of the field now, a lap down from that. And now Dakota Lawn is stopped. I think Dakota Lawn passed the pace car, and the field is about to realize he's the leader.
It's going to be interesting. That Maconi, Sturgeon, and Thero didn't really have a long pit stop. 14 seconds. So that was just kind of a factor of a part of this iRacing and short track racing. Oh, contact!
Oh, my. Wow, Dakota Lawn just hit the back of the 10. Kozik, I think, didn't realize that Dakota Lawn needed to go back to the front.
That might affect. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. The pace car pulls in, but some right front damage to Dakota Lawn.
Apparently, the contact, according to Kozik and Sim, was a 0 incident point penalty. Lawn, a poor launch. Hayden Howell beats him to the stripe, retakes the lead. No black flag, and Dakota Lawn's now being swarmed.
Fading fast all the way back in the 3rd and about to lose 4th. That's Wesley Parker. As they're going to go 3 wide, Wesley Parker, 4 in Sim, 22 on screen in that purple truck, and you got Jack Mason on his inside. Not really letting Dakota Lawn breathe at all. Here comes a bunch of hungry hippos. That's Tripiano too, trying to steal that spot.
And obviously, old tires not working the way it could have possibly went for some. Trupiano amongst still shuffling to the bottom in terms of that choo-choo train now. And taking 3 wide, elects to back out. Brinkley near contact with Joseph Braun. Braun spins it out for the caution again.
Everyone's going to avoid him for the most part. That could have been real ugly. That was inside the 8th and 9th spot there, just barely inside the top 10, but a bunch of hungry hippos fighting for whatever little bit of real estate you can get. This track is really starting to evolve. I feel like this new track, the new track mechanics coming in. So I feel like drivers are starting to pick and choose the lane and trying to either get up there or stay down there. And that's the product of short track racing.
That quick break, under 20 laps to go. You're watching Maconi Entertainment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series, brought to you by Maconi Setup Shop as well as by Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Setup Shop, the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. Subscriptions available as low as $8 a month. Maconi Setup Shop, the official setup shop of NASCAR, an official series sponsor of the NASCAR C-Fix Series. Just about getting set for the restart. Take time to remind you that this week for Fast Fridays, drivers will be going short track racing at Hickory. For more information, go to MaconiSetupShop.com/Fast Fridays. See which drivers lock themselves in to the monthly $250 money race. For the race tonight, it's 13 to go, Braden. It's going to be wild.
Don't get a green flag. Peyton Howe jumping out to an early start there. I mean, that was a huge jump start. I mean, they were still basically in the corner, and they're going to really allow himself to clear himself from Aaron Clemens. I mean, we saw these two side by side early in the race. Clemens came out on top until Peyton finally got out front. He pretty much stayed there most of the time. But Dakota Long did take advantage of that caution and came down and took some fresh tires. So it has a little fresher rubber than the rest of the field. It's going to have to be interesting to see how he uses it.
Keep in mind, though, those drivers 14th on back after the restart. First battle side by side for third currently. Parker and Mace coming to 11 laps to go. And these two have been running just about on top of each other in terms of pace all night long, whether side by side or separated by just a position or two.
Yeah, I mean, Wesley Parker started 6th and has been inside the top 5. Same with Jack May, started 4th and basically been in a podium spot most of his time. But look right behind him, we got Andy Trippiano, who was kind of involved in that lap 14 wreck. Brinkley went into him and spun himself out. And speaking of Jordan Brinkley, right behind Trippiano there, here comes Jordan Brinkley. Had been a couple cautions tonight, that self-spin like I just talked about, but has moved himself back up kind of through pit strategy and his raw speed, now to the 6th position, trying to steal 5th.
Trippiano with under 10 laps to go, looking to try and push. Trippiano, one time in eNASCAR's Ignite Series, also for several years was the top prospect for the Road to Pro ladder, hasn't made it up the full ranks yet, but is still somebody that, if he wants to, can be potentially in that conversation in the next couple years. He still runs inside, looking for 4th. Parker losing ground. The bottom starting to come in here.
Yeah, we talked about picking and choosing a lane and the track really evolving as this race went on. As we're inside 7-8 laps to go, Jack Mason, I'm sure, is loving this battle for 3rd. He doesn't quite have enough pace to catch up to Aaron Clemens for 2nd, but he doesn't have to worry about holding off Trippiano or Wesley Parker, as those two are now side by side still. As they actually caught up to Jack Mason a little bit, right? As I talked about him being comfortable, he's got a bunch of hungry hippos, Trippiano and Parker, and Brinkley too, are all within half a second or so right behind him.
So look from Trippiano, trying to run inside. Still can't fully clear, just about does in fact, and does indeed fully clear. Wesley Parker moves back to 5th. Once again, looking for the top 5 is Brinkley as well. Coming up 5 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, Josh Kozak too, also trying to steal this top 5 spot. Brinkley started at 11th and has really kind of slowly, but not quietly, moved his way inside the top 5. He was going for 4th, so before we had a caution. There's contact.
Turn 4. Trippiano sends Mace around. Mace loops it in front of the pack. Caution flag is out. And Trippiano definitely sent it. The truck definitely didn't stick.
Jack Mason not happy on the radio, I will say that one.
Yeah, watch from above. Trippiano saying, I'll own that one. Yeah.
His one there got a little bit too loose, a little too hot, too loosey-goosey, and slides up into Jack Mason. Mace tried to save it, and then actually got plowed into from behind by Trippiano and Wesley Parker. And then Mace up into the track, and to see the field there as they all came by, he did everything he could to narrowly avoid him. A couple guys made contact, actually. I'm not sure who that was.
Someone
14
did.
Tucker. Joseph Tucker.
Yeah, green light checkered is initiated as a result of the caution, but that's going to hurt the one machine the rest of the way here as a result of the contact. But Now it gets interesting. As to be expected, nobody up front coming down to pit. Even with the set available, it's only a 2-lap shootout. If there's a caution, the field freezes. If it's before the white flag, as simple as that. In our words, no one wanted to risk taking tires, with there being a lot of risk in that regard.
Yeah, that really hurt Jack Mace's run. We talked about him, kind of staying inside the top 5 most of the night. Came into this race looking for a 4th top 5 run. Kind of had a shot at a win. Would have needed some luck and some help, but still was going to be another solid points night. And now I'm sure this race is going on the points chopping block for him as he's actually coming down pit road. And currently scored 17 out of 18 trucks.
So once
That's
again,
how he came down pit road. So I don't know if he took tires or he got some damage. Or he did take tires. But being all the way back at 17th, I don't think it's going to help him out too much.
Yeah, gonna need a lot of craziness to happen here. Which still could be on the cards here, mind you. So we get ready for the restart. Again, take the time, just go receive the note to apologize about some of the paint scheme discrepancies you may see for tonight's action. It's currently due to a technical issue per our producing staff. Again, we apologize for the inconvenience this may cause some drivers or fans, or groups watching along with tonight's action. That being said, though, the restart itself. Howell's been looking strong. Clemens, he was amongst those who backed up those starts previously. A little bit more further up in terms of the push right now is time in the one truck in sim. What can you do if you're Clemens to take the win?
I mean, Payton, I don't want to say jump. I mean, he went while they were still in the corner because the pace car here pulls off going into the 3, so you can go kind of early if you want. But Jordan Brinkley up to 3rd, yes. I cannot wait to see. We've seen what he has done to get inside the top 5, and I'm sure he's going to maybe give a little bit of bumper love as Payton Howell gets ready to go.
Oh, wow, that is extremely early. Let's race it out of 3 and 4 full throttle, shall we? Single file for the top 2. Clemens thinks about the bumper, doesn't use it yet, but it's close.
Yeah, we talked about him going early. He definitely went early that time by. Entire field made it through the corner.
He sent it!
To Clemens, really side by side. We are white flag racing.
Clemens wants one more shot. He drifted it through 3 and 4. Looks for the bump out of 2. Brinkley sets up at the popcorn seat. One more chance for the send. Clemens licks the stamp, sends it, pushes Howell up the track. Side by side, they crash for 4th. To the line, Clemens gets it over Howell.
8 thousandths of a second. Aaron Clemens steals that one. Little bumper love going into 3. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Jordan Brinkley was sitting there and put himself in a perfect position to steal that one. But I think that is one of the closest finishes we've had here in the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix series, especially this season.
And a crazy finish. Post-race results coming up. You're watching Maconi Entertainment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Everybody making friends here at Myrtle Beach tonight on Maconi Entertainment for the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series S.O.F race. Clement sends it, makes it stick, uses a bit of the door, and in turn gets the win by 9/1000 of a second over Howell. Brinkley finishes at 3rd. Then Trupiano and Kozik here top 5. Keep in mind, 4th on back had incidents coming to the checker flag. Thomas Horvath finished 6th. Tucker, Swank, Maconi, and McCabe, your top 10, Brayton.
Dakota Long in the 11th. We talked about him, played some pit strategy throughout the middle of the race, brings it home in a not very quiet way. Jack Mace doesn't really recover all that well, but does take home a 12th place finish after getting spun late in this race. Jason Morales, Dylan Thero, Joseph Braun, Wesley Parker, Rocky Boy III, and Austin Sturgeon on the truck, not on the lead lap. Didn't really recover, though. We talked about those 3 trucks going down one lap in the pit cycle, was never able to recover.
So remember, what's coming up next race on the schedule? Don't forget, we transition next week from Myrtle Beach to, would you like some more chaos, this time from Los Angeles? How about the LA Coliseum? And how about a track where it's very difficult to make a pass without destroying a bumper, or 20?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a repeat of the night where we basically have to use that bumper to make a move. You can't really go side by side like you can. They're flat, tight. I mean, I'm going to love watching those drivers absolutely sitting on one each other. If that makes sense, we're going to go with it. And I'm sure it's going to be fun to watch.
Again, that the 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time on January the 30th here on Maconi Entertainment. Your thoughts on tonight itself, though?
I think that was a fantastic showing. I mean, we had battles from first to last. Honestly, I think Peyton Howard jumping that start at the end is what killed him, spun his tires, and allowed Aaron Clemens to make a last second late race charge, green, white, checkered style. I didn't think we'd make it to the white flag, but Aaron Clemens definitely took advantage of it and made the most of it.
So with that, we'd like to thank you for tuning in tonight, as well as our sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, and our broadcast partner, Maconi Competizo. Calling the action myself. Tonight was myself, alongside Braden Laster, and the booth for DJ Line Producing. Thanks to all our viewers watching tonight's racing action. We hope you stay tuned in all our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for the work in bringing this racing to you once more. Tonight has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.